have the unbelievable honor of introducing Don Graham, who will be speaking to us next. Don is currently chairman of the board of Graham Holdings Companies, previously the Washington Post Company, its former chief executive. He served in Vietnam. He was a reporter at the Post, then its publisher, and has served as the director and trustee of many august institutions. But what he's going to talk to us about today is that throughout his career, Don has always been passionate about education. Just over a decade ago, he co-founded the Dream.us, which is now the nation's largest scholarship program for dreamers and undocumented youth, with over $300 million raised and supporting scholarships for over 10,000 undocumented learners. But he didn't stop there, because when Don saw these same students graduating from college, seeking to become doctors, lawyers, go to graduate school, but be unable to tap and access the same loan programs that American students can, he provided the anchor grant for the Dreamers Graduate Loan Program, enabling Dreamers to take out loans at the same rate as U.S. citizens. Don has been a wonderful partner and friend to social finance, and I am thrilled to welcome him to the stage.
Thank you. That was great, Kristen. You can see from my necktie that I'm an old-fashioned fellow, but this is really old-fashioned. So, I want to tell you about another wonderful thing that Tracy and social finance have done. Decades ago, I went to college in 1962, and in those days, John Lewis was banned from going to state colleges in Alabama, Vernon Jordan was in Georgia, Ernie Green was in Arkansas, and so on. Who is banned from going to college in the United States today? You probably can guess the answer from Kristen's introduction. Undocumented students are banned from the University of Georgia and Georgia Tech, no matter what they pay. They're banned from all the public colleges in Alabama and South Carolina, again, no matter what they pay. Even if they went to high school in those states, even if they went to first grade in those states. In many states, Dreamers are denied in-state tuition. By the way, this was so for most Dreamers in Massachusetts until 2023. Great thanks to Ed Shapiro, Larry Fish, and others who helped persuade the legislature to change that. It is still true in New Hampshire and Vermont. Dreamers do not get in-state tuition. Even where Dreamers qualify for in-state tuition, their lives are made miserable by their status. Their families are poor, but unlike their low-income classmates, they cannot receive Pell Grants or federal aid of any kind. This includes federal loans for college, and there are no loans other than federal loans for the most part. A handful get full rides from colleges, and God bless those colleges. But what about the rest? So 10 years ago, based on a complete misunderstanding of American politics, some friends and I started a scholarship fund for Dreamers, which we thought would be very short-lived. Our premise was Congress is about to fix this in 2 or 3 years. It was 2013, and the Senate had just passed a bill, and Obama had just created DACA and so on, and we thought this would be a short-lived problem. It is worse than ever. So we doubled up. We decided to offer these Dreamers 4-year scholarships to where we could find them, low-cost, high-quality universities in many states. An example most people know is the City University of New York, one of whose advocates, publicists is here right now, whose 11 4-year colleges cost $7,250 a year, tuition and fees, total cost of attendance. So we have now enrolled over 10 years, 10,000 Dreamers in college. They come from families whose average income is $25,000 a year. There are better statisticians here than me. I think that's about the 7th percentile. But the graduation rate, post-pandemic, it was higher before, is 76%. I will now get mushy. I've been involved in scholarship programs for low-income students in my home city for decades. Some of my best friends are graduates of those programs, but I have never met a group of students like the Dreamers. They fill my mailbox and my email inbox with descriptions of how hard their life has been and also how high their hopes are. I love this country in a very old-fashioned way, and so do they. They would love to serve in its armed forces if we weren't crazy enough to prevent them from doing that. So in a classroom, much like this, filled with Dreamer students at one of our partner colleges in about year 2 or 3 of this program, the president of the college asked those Dreamers, how many of you have a serious desire to go to grad school after you finish? And almost all of them raised their hands. I was horrified. What the hell could we do now? There are no $7,250 a year graduate schools, in case you don't know that. Graduate school is where the debt problem occurs. Graduate school costs an arm and a leg, and it is not proportionate to the income you may earn. So I decided we couldn't possibly address this with grants. No donors would give enough money to pay $50,000 or $100,000 a year to send kids to grad school. So I went looking for anybody, anywhere who would loan money to enable qualified Dreamer students to go to graduate school at the same kind of rates US citizen students were paying. I went to banks, I went to university endowments, I went to rich people, I went to foundations, I went to anyone. Then someone introduced me to Tracy, specifically Andrew Hallowell, if he's here. I quickly realized 2 things. First, Tracy knew everyone in the entire world. And second, she was very close friends with every single person in the entire world. And finally, she had built a team at Social Finance that was smart enough and creative enough to create the Dreamer Graduate Loan Program, and they did. I cannot thank the Social Finance team enough. No one in the United States, no one, was willing to take this problem on. It is the only loan program for such students. Thanks especially to Ayush and Jake, who are here, and Ayush, who worked harder than anyone else on this, but also to Hannah, Viva, and Bisma, who are not. But that's only the beginning. Everybody at Social Finance has had a hand in the creation of this program. It works in a somewhat complicated way. It has one nonprofit originating loans, another organization making and collecting the loans, and the bottom line, 280 loans made after very scrupulous review by normal lending criteria, including 36 that are already paying back. 0 of these would have been made absent what Social Finance was able to put together. So, to all of you, if you want to invest, first of all, this is not a small subject. It's fascinating that we're talking about workforce and only one person in the room has said immigration during the entire day. And you're right, ma'am. And this is a huge subject. No one knows how many undocumented immigrants there are in the country. The best guess about students is that 98,000 undocumented kids graduate from American high schools every year. 1 million in 10 years who will have, with the few exceptions that we and Berkeley and Harvard are able to fund, almost no opportunity for higher education. We are crazy. But if you are interested in investing in their futures, any social investments you want to make in this program will reward you like nothing you have ever seen. I am told there is no time for me to take questions. I'm running out of here because my wife had foot surgery and I'm going to get back and give her dinner. But I want to give you my email address, which is Don, D-O-N. I'm at a company called Graham Holdings, as Christian said. So I'm Don, D-O-N, at ghco.com. And if you're interested in learning more about the situation of Dreamers, please email me. And I want to close by saying that I know you care about this because Tracy cares about it, and each one of you is her very best friend. But I want to conclude by saying, God love Tracy.
I'm not going anywhere. Okay, Don Graham. He said he got mushy, so I'm going to get a little mushy. Working with you has been one of the most extraordinary and most fulfilling professional experience in my life. And when you work with Don Graham, you see someone in action who can walk with kings and never lose the common touch. And the way you've influenced the lives of so many people in this country is just humbling to watch. You know that Margaret Mead quote that, if only a few committed, thoughtful citizens can change the world? You and your colleagues at Dream.us is the true embodiment. It really gives us so much joy and hope working with someone like you. So thank you.
Thanks, Tracy.